Good morning, everyone. This is Father Nate, missionary priest in Italy, and today is Friday, November 24th of 2023, and we're celebrating today the memorial of St. Andrew Dunglac, priest, and his companions, martyrs. Today's Gospel comes to us from the Gospel of the day, that is the 33rd Friday of Ordinary Time, and it comes to us from the Gospel according to Luke, chapter 19, verses 45 through 48. Jesus entered the temple area and proceeded to drive out those who were selling things, saying to them, "It is written, 'My house shall be a house of prayer,' but you have made it a den of thieves." And every day he was teaching in the temple area. The chief priests, the scribes, and the leaders of the people, meanwhile, were seeking to put him to death, but they could find no way to accomplish their purpose, because all the people were hanging on his words. Today's Gospel takes us to the moment when Jesus purifies the temple, with the very negative response he receives. We can think of how this had been the history of the temple. In fact, in odd years like today, the first reading comes from the book of Maccabees, as they purify the temple. It's always been the same cycle that's repeated itself through the temple's history. Contamination and defilement, then purification, then dirtying and contamination again, then cleansing. It just keeps going. We could say that this cycle is repeated today in the church. We could say that this is the life of the church today. As St. John Henry Newman said so well, the church is ever militant. Sometimes she gains, sometimes she loses. And more often she is at once gaining and losing in different parts of her territory. What is ecclesiastical history but a record of the ever-doubtful fortune of the battle, though its issue is not doubtful? Meaning, we don't know how this particular moment's going to go, but we know in the end who wins. Jesus does. And he continues, he says, "Scarcely are we singing Te Deum when we need to turn to our misereres." We're singing Te Deum, a song of victory, and then we need to turn to miserere, Lord have mercy. Scarcely are we in peace when we are in persecution. Scarcely we have gained a triumph when we are visited by a scandal. Nay, we make progress by means of reverses. Our griefs are our consolations. We lose Stephen to gain Paul, and Matthias replaces Judas the traitor. So we can ask ourselves, well, why does God allow this? Why does he allow so many attacks on his church? Well, St. Paul said that power is made perfect in weakness, for when we are weak, then we are strong. The fight that we are engaged in began long before we were born, and it will continue long after we're dead. It's God's struggle against the devil and his minions, and he's the one who gives us strength to continue the fight. The saints understood this very well. For instance, way back in the 300s, St. John Chrysostom wrote, "Talk not to me of walls and arms, for walls wax old with age, but the church has no old age. Walls are shattered by barbarians, but over the church even demons do not prevail. And that my words are no mere vaunt, there's the evidence of facts. How many have assailed the church, and yet the assailants have perished while the church herself is soared beyond the sky? Such might has the church. When she is assailed, she conquers. When snares are laid for her, she prevails. When she is insulted, her prosperity increases. She is wounded, yet sinks not under her wounds. Tossed by waves, yet not submerged. Vexed by storms, yet suffers no shipwreck. She is wrestled and not worsted, fights but is not vanquished. Why does she suffer this war? That she might make more manifest the splendor of her triumph." And St. Hilary wrote even more concisely. He said, "It is the peculiar property of the church that when she is buffeted, she is triumphant. When she is assaulted with argument, she proves herself in the right. When she is deserted by her supporters, she holds the field." All of this comes about because the power of the church's message isn't her own. It comes from her divine founder, who not only established her 2,000 years ago, but also continues to support and defend her today. We can ask ourselves, how much do we trust in God's love for us and for his church? Do we really believe that the victory will be his and ours, and that anything we suffer here is simply momentary? Do we believe in God's love for us and for all people? Do we hold firmly to the Church's teachings? Today, through the intercession of Mary, Mother of the Church, let's ask for the grace to truly trust that our Heavenly Father loves us and watches over our fight on this earth.